Hello, everyone. This is Melissa Shaw with Our Generation, where we educate, empower, and inspire. And I'm excited for my guest today. I am with Katina Washington with the She event. And we're going to talk about your upcoming event that you're having
Oh yeah.
and some other things.
Mhm.
So let's just get into it. So, welcome. Thank you for interviewing with me.
Thank you for having me. I
Yes,
really appreciate this opportunity, any opportunity that allows me to, gain more notoriety to this event. So I
absolutely.
appreciate that.
Absolutely. So, just a little background. Just tell the people, so are you from here? How long you been doing this? Kind of where you started?
hmm Yes, so I grew up both on 29th and Forest Manor, and also in the Brightwood community because my brothers and sisters are like a lot older than me, right? So a lot of time that I spent in my childhood was like at their homes. So my brother lived at 28th and Adams, so that's right in the center,
Yeah.
Brightwood community. So that was my upbringing. I always loved entrepreneurship. There were entrepreneurs in our neighborhood.
Okay.
There
Nice.
were that I really admired and looked up to. So throughout my life, I always was like a magnet to people who were entrepreneurs and kind of gained my traction that way, with learning from them. And here lately, I've realized that I've become the woman that I needed several
Mm.
years ago. No regrets because everything happens for a reason.
Mhm.
So the time that it took for me to become who I am today and all of that, you have growing pains and all of that, stumbling
Absolutely.
blocks, whatever. So
Mhm.
all of it has manifested into who I am now.
Yep. So when did you start the process of? You said you've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. So
Mhm.
when did you was like, oh yeah, this is it. This is happening.
Yeah, well, I've always called myself an entrepreneur since I was probably about 18 years old,
Okay.
doing hair and stuff like that. But when I became like an entrepreneur was back in I believe 2000, maybe 11 or 12, when I filed my first, thing with the Secretary of State, and
Yes.
got my LLC for the jewelry that I made. And then I kind of let that go and then started the She event in 2014 and been going with that. And now the jewelry that I make is more like a fundraiser for the She event.
Nice. Nice. I
Mm-hmm.
love that. So where did the she event come from?
So initially, myself and my niece and my friend started She, and the initial meaning was shoes, hot accessories, and eats. So that's what the SHE stood for.
Okay.
And as time went on, and I kind of went on this journey, by myself versus with partners. A friend of mine, actually Dorian, who lives in Atlanta, Georgia, said, "Hey, why don't you rename it She Has Everything and invite all women entrepreneurs, in the community to be part of it?" And I'm like, okay. And that's what I did. And since then, it's been going pretty good. We started out, like I said, with three entrepreneurs, and now we have hosted events with over 263 women. Yeah,
Wow.
at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. So we went from in my home into a clubhouse a few times, and then we went to the Indy Parks, and then Ivy Tech, and then Bethel Community Center, Lafayette Square Mall, the State Fairgrounds, and now we're going into the Convention Center this
That is
year.
so exciting. I
Mhm.
love that. Because you wanted to hold a space for women to be able
Oh
to
yeah.
be recognized and
hmm
be seen for what they do, and that's powerful because you don't see that much today. There's a lot of competition, but people don't realize that when you collaborate with people,
Oh yeah.
you get so much further,
hmm
and you are an example of that. So I
Oh,
commend you for
absolutely.
still pushing through because I'm sure it's not been easy.
hmm
We probably have hit roadblocks and different things, but to
hmm
still you kept your vision, you kept that what the ultimate goal was.
Oh yes.
And you said it's been 9 years, so 9 years
hmm
later, and you just see the growth that you've done. Like
Oh
that's a
yeah.
huge story. Are you planning on writing a
Yeah.
book?
Oh yeah. I'm in the process right now, writing
Nice.
a book, and it's due to be done in November of this year.
It's
So I'm
exciting.
hopefully going to launch a book signing in December. Uh, I want to give women, and it's not like I'm, a doctor or professor or anything like that, but I do think that the things that I've learned in my life can help other people.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd love for, how we all talk about New Year's resolutions and all that
I
good
know.
stuff, right? And it's not a New Year's resolution or anything, or even, something I want to proclaim to be a New Year's resolution, but I do want it to be thought provoking. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? For people who read it. And then, maybe it touches them in some part of their, of their being or inside of them that makes them want to have a new way of life.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by a new way of life is actually living versus existing.
That part, because we do that a lot.
Mhm.
We sometimes we just exist,
Yeah.
and we don't actually live through this stuff because we're doing so
Mhm.
much.
Mhm.
We just like it almost become robots
We
sometimes.
almost become robots. When
Yeah.
I teach my master class, one of the things I ask the ladies in there is, what fed your soul today?
Mm-hmm.
Whether if it's that Starbucks or that your favorite breakfast sandwich,
Mm-hmm.
um, that kid giving you a kiss on the cheek or whatever it might, may be that feeds your soul. Make a list of things that feed your soul, and make sure that every day that you live on this earth and you're blessed to wake up, that you do something that feeds your soul, because that's what helps you to fill your cup. And when our cup is filled, life is easier.
It is.
Because we're constantly interacting with people every day that either take from our cup or pour into our cup.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole
And there's a lot
goal,
of takers from.
yeah, yeah,
There are very few sometimes, but so you have to be very meticulous about even who's you're in your circle.
absolutely. And you can't control everything,
Mm-hmm.
because you may have a kid that constantly takes from your
Mm-hmm.
cup. But if you have those moments where that kid comes and gives you a hug and a kiss and says, "You the best mommy in the world," it adds to your cup too,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely,
Right. So
absolutely.
yeah, just having those kind of relationships and navigating around, that through life, is important.
Mm-hmm.
It's important that you intentionally do things that feed your soul. So
Mm-hmm.
I would suggest anyone make a list.
Yeah, I love
Whatever
that.
feeds your soul. If you love flying cupcakes, take a
Mm-hmm.
moment out of the day, shut everything down. I'm gonna go get me a flying cupcake.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely, and it does
Yeah.
wonders. Like I just
Mhm.
got back from Pensacola last night, and so I went for 2 days. I left on Monday, and got back last night, and it was the best. I didn't take any work with me.
Good
I
for
took a book.
you.
I took writing. I started writing, and I felt like I was able to release so much. Like I never came back from a trip where I feel like, okay, I'm good. Like I needed
Mhm.
that, and people are like, "Oh, you travel by yourself?" Absolutely. Like they don't understand how important that is. Oh, wasn't you bored? I was not. I was good. I
Nope.
walked to the beach. I was right on the beach, so I was on the
Mm-mm.
beach by myself. I went kayaking. Like it's just to be able to be in your own space. And I realized people don't know how to do that.
It is very powerful. I have found out for one to enjoy their own company.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it takes a lot to get to that point, because I am now 51 years old, and I would say in the last maybe 3 or 4 years, I've had a greater appreciation for being alone than ever in my life.
Mm-hmm.
You have to find something inside of you that makes being with you enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because how can you expect for other people to enjoy you and you don't even enjoy yourself?
Right.
Like
No, for real.
if you're a terrible if you're terrible company for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you ought to have those moments. People think you're crazy because you might talk to yourself or whatever,
Yeah.
but I talk to myself all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I sure do. I have those moments because what I'm producing, you know, as far as being company to myself is something great,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes it comes out verbal.
Yeah, no,
You know what I'm
absolutely,
saying?
absolutely. I'd be like, you
But
need to get your shit together, and I'll be telling myself that, like, what
right.
are you doing? Why are you
Yeah.
tripping?
Or
Yeah,
if you do a good job, girl, that was good. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
absolutely.
there's nothing wrong with that. When I wake up in the morning, I go to the window, I say, I am worthy of good fortune. I attract love, peace, joy, and abundance into my life. I welcome success into my life.
Mm.
Those three sentences, and if you
Mhm.
say that to yourself over and over again,
Mhm.
and remember mantras like that, not saying you're going to be the greatest person in the world or anything like that, but you got to hear from yourself,
Mhm.
and believe it before you believe it coming from somebody else,
Yeah, we
you
always
know.
expect that recognition from other people, but we never give it to ourselves, like you
Oh,
said.
yeah.
And if we do that, that means so much more when we're
Mm-hmm.
able to recognize our own greatness.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I really appreciate the time that I've spent alone. I hear people say, "Oh, I'm bored," and I can't relate because I
Yeah,
haven't
I
been
cannot.
bored.
Yep, me
I
either. I look
love.
forward to those times when I'm by myself
Oh yeah.
because I put so much pressure on myself and I take on
Hmm.
so much. So just to be able to just be still and to not think and not answer questions and not, be pulled, it's beautiful.
Are you an introvert?
I am not.
You're not.
I'm not.
And I'm an introvert, right? And a lot of people are surprised when they find out that I'm an introvert because they feel like they've known me 20 years, 30 years. No, you're not an introvert. I mean, I've had people go toe to toe with me about this. No, you're not. Yes, I am an introvert. And I don't know how to explain to people that being an introvert does not have to do with behavior. It has to
Mm,
do with energy, you
mm,
know. So when the job that I do forces me to be an extrovert, but
mhm,
it's not really something that I can do all the time because it sucks the life out of me.
mhm,
You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
Being an introvert and being around a lot of people is like having your cell phone on a low percentage. And
mhm,
I heard
mm,
Henzy Green say this. He said it's like being on a low percentage, and then you got to get away from people to plug in to charge your battery, and that's
mhm.
exactly how I feel. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So just dealing with, I'm shy for one, regardless of how it looks right now. Like I'm very shy.
Wow.
Yes, like I when I used to like when I was like going to church and singing in a choir and praise team and all that stuff. When I'm at home, I'm singing on key, doing this, and the other, right? And then I get up in front of people, and I have so much anxiety just thinking about being in front of people,
Mhm,
right? So when the time comes, it's like I'm shaking, I'm nervous, things are not going the way that I planned because I got all this anxiety built up inside of me, right? So, first of all, thank you for this interview
no, absolutely.
because,
I get nervous every time I do
oh,
these.
yeah.
I'm like, oh, like every time I'm just like, oh, am I gonna say the right thing? Like it's just weird. I guess I might be both an introvert and an extrovert because,
Yeah.
yeah, I get really anxious.
Hmm. Yeah, I get very, very anxious. Just thinking about, the outcome.
Mhm.
The outcome makes me very, very anxious. How's this going to turn out? Am I going to say the right
And isn't that
things?
crazy? We can't even control the outcome, and we worry about it all the time.
We worry about stuff that we can't even control. And I'm telling you, you could have sent me a list of questions, everything. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna say this, and the other. But I found out that when I get a list of questions and I, try to come up with these super great answers,
Yeah.
it also does not come organically for me. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? Us just sitting down having this conversation, it feels more organic,
Mhm.
which helps with my anxiety
Mhm.
because it helps me to be more of who I am versus what is expected of me. You
Absolutely.
see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So,
And
thank
that's
you for this opportunity
yeah,
because there was
absolutely.
a time I just, you know, uh, even when I went back to college or whatever, and we had to do presentations, I would call in.
Mm.
Yep, I took a 30% lower grade to call in because I'm like, nope, I'm not
Yeah.
getting up in front of them
Yeah, when I
people.
was in school, I would not. You wouldn't, if you would have said a year and a half ago that I would be doing this, I'd be like, you're crazy. Absolutely not.
And you
I
did such a good
never thought I
job.
would be doing this ever. But it has helped me to become my more authentic self because it took I didn't have to be perfect. And I really
Yes.
held on to that. Like I man, I had done my show a couple of weeks ago. I had mismatched socks on. Like And I was like,
Yeah.
it is what it is. I'm still gonna come. I'm still
And
gonna
you
show
felt
up. And
good.
I did. It's like my therapy. I say stuff. Sometimes I go off on a tangent and just,
But it's
but
still your show.
but it's mine, and I want it to be
It's
as
your show.
organic. That's why I don't have scripts. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
It just whatever we say, because I feel like the energy will guide what needs to be said.
Exactly. I
And
love that.
yeah.
I love that the energy will guide what needs to be said. I really love that.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a great appreciation for that too.
Yeah.
Because you know, some situations force us to feel so buttoned up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's good to just release, feel
Absolutely.
relaxed, and move forward
Mm-hmm.
organically.
Yeah, absolutely. So you actually did a show that I was able to come in, a pilot show. How was that for you? You
Oh my
did
God.
amazing. The setup was beautiful. Like I was like, oh my God, am I walking into like an Oprah studio?
That's funny.
It was so
Wow,
nice.
wow, that's funny. Yeah, I've always wanted to do this show, right? I always wanted to do this show, and but I didn't know how to execute it.
Mm-hmm.
So I mentioned it to a few people, and then and they all were on board on my team. And then Pastor Jackson, James Jackson, he reached out to me, and he's like, what do you think about the Katina Washington show? And it was just like what I wanted just fell in my lap, right? It just fell
Wow.
in my lap. And I was like, wow, we've been wanting to do that. You know, I was gonna call it Hue is She, like different interviewing different hues of
Mm.
women. Yeah, that's what I wanted to call it. But now that I'm really focusing on building my own brand, you know, because I put so much effort into the She event, I was like, I want to build my own brand.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, we were like, okay, we're gonna execute the show. I did warn him. I said, now look, you know, this is in the church, and some of the things I want to talk about may not be appropriate for the church.
Right,
okay,
right.
right? I'm like, now we're gonna get that out in the beginning. He's like, oh, you know, we're not like that, and this and that. And other. I'm like, okay, now you know, Katina, and I make that very clear. You know, I'm joking right now, but I make that very clear because we service people from all walks of life. Some may be Christian, some may be Buddhist, some may be Muslim, some I don't know what they believe in. You know, some are Wiccan, some Black Israelites,
Mm-hmm.
you know, some are Mormons. It's just there are people who come from all walks of life. And I feel like as a Black woman, we have so many things that already divide us. Like if you got natural hair, if you got relaxed hair, you
Mm-hmm.
know, if you're this religion or that religion. So I wanted the She event to be a place that creates like a gray area for people. You know what I'm saying? Where you can come into our space and none of that matters because we're so focused on the things that do matter.
Right. I love that. So with your show, um, it happened. Is there
Yeah.
gonna be another one?
Yes, there will be another one. We're hoping for in October
Okay.
to have another show, bigger and better.
Yeah.
You
Are
know,
you gonna
yeah.
continue doing it at the church?
I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
I'm not sure if we're going to continue doing it at the church, but we must go on with the show. I think it was a great show. I
Yeah.
love the All Girl Band. That was
Yes,
something
they
that
was
was
dope.
new.
Yes.
So, love an All Girl Band. Hope to have the All Girl Band again.
Yeah.
And then showcase some DJs around the town too. I'd
Mm-hmm.
love to showcase some DJs around the town.
Yeah, you should do like a DJ battle.
Oh yeah,
That would
wouldn't
be
that be
dope.
nice?
That would be dope. Yes,
Ooh!
yes. Like guys against the girls. Like
Oh man, yes,
yeah,
I think we're gonna have to do that.
yeah.
Thank you for that
You're
idea. Look,
welcome.
we'll have you as a VIP
Oh,
guest.
thank you so much. Yeah,
All
no, that would
right.
be dope though. Yeah. So
Mm,
so the event that's coming up, the She event. You've been doing
yes,
this for 9 years.
9 years.
Every year it gets better.
Yes,
I
I
have
think
not
so.
actually attended anyone, so I'm super excited to attend this one.
Ooh,
And I appreciate the honor of you having me come and have a booth and be able to do live interviews.
yes.
I'm super excited about that because I'll be able to
Mm.
really capture, the essence of being an entrepreneur and, just
Oh.
really what it is. And like you
Mm.
said, there's so many people out there that are entrepreneurs that don't get a spotlight.
Yes.
And you don't have to that's one thing about my show is what I love is I focus on ones that are just in the beginning. Like they need that. They
Oh
need to be
yeah.
able to learn how to tell their story.
Mhm.
So I have them on my show, and 6 months to a year, I bring them back because I want them to see their growth.
Oh
But I also
wow.
want the community to see it too, because you
Mhm.
might have people out there that are struggling on the fence. I'm always using the example, and I think I used this at that one event I was at hosted, where a friend of mine, she has a hair care company.
Mhm.
She rebranded 5 times. She wasn't sure, and you go through those processes
Yes,
because you
yes you
learn
do.
things and then you pivot. You learn and
Mhm.
you pivot. And a lot of people, how many people would not have stayed to the fifth time?
Absolutely.
She just has two of her products in Walmart right now.
Ain't that
And
beautiful?
I love that story. And so I'm gonna have her on my show next month, and it's going to be a year, so it's going to show her starting and what
Oh.
she's accomplished. It gives me chills because it's like that's that dedication and that consistency, that
Mhm.
discipline that we all struggle with.
Absolutely.
But to see someone actually do it, you're
Mhm.
like, oh no, I got this. I have
Mhm.
to stay on course
Oh,
no
absolutely.
matter what I feel. There's days when I feel like I question, should I be doing this? Should I pivot? Should
Mhm.
I do something else? And it's just like, no, you have to stay. Just like with my show, I had a surgery about a month or so. It's actually been 13 weeks.
Mhm.
Um, it was an emergency hysterectomy, and so it completely shut me down. Was
Okay.
not expecting it. So
Mhm.
one thing I got from it is we have to make sure we have everything planned out because you
Oh.
never know when life is going to hit you, and you can't. I
Yes.
had to cancel events. I had to cancel my shows. Like I wasn't prepared for it. So when I started to recover and come back, um, even the guy that I was doing the show with, certain things was moving different with him. And so
Yes.
I had to pivot really quick. Within a
Yes.
week, I had to find a new location, and I decided to go on YouTube.
Oh wow.
And that was the best decision ever.
Mhm.
And I always, my inner circle, I call them, is like Tangie's part of it, then Brianna. They've been on me. They're like, what
Yeah.
can you do that you're paying him for? They've been telling me this since last year. And you have to have
Mm.
those friends though.
You
And
do.
so when I finally came around, they was like, finally, like you got it. Like, yes, this is what you needed. And ever since I did it, so much has been opening up, so many
Oh
opportunities. So
wow.
sometimes because we're afraid, we keep ourselves held back.
Mhm.
There's opportunities already sitting there waiting for us.
Mhm.
It's just
Absolutely.
waiting for us to cross over.
Mhm.
And once we do that, it's amazing. It's part of the journey. And so
Yeah.
I love to be able to capture things like that when I have different guests on. Like there's
Mhm.
this I interviewed 3 guys. They're 23 years old. They are powerful. They want to teach their generation financial literacy and changing the narrative, and they're actually doing it.
Wow.
They can do community events. And I'm like, I'm going to support you. I said, you guys have been on my show 3 times. You must be special because nobody has been on my show 3 times. But they are just, I love the energy. They're so different with each other, and just that's what people don't promote. They don't show that
Mhm.
side. You see the other side of these young ones, but you don't see there is a full network of young men
Absolutely.
that want to do things.
Mhm.
Why don't we see that in the news?
Yeah. And I, first of all, I want to say thank you so much for accepting my invitation. Believe it or not, I used to literally copy and paste an invitation for myself to be on shows for a long time,
Wow.
where I was ignored a lot, of course. But
Yeah.
I even asked one person that came back around full circle. I said, you ignored my, invitation. They were like, it looked copied and pasted. I was like, damn, it was.
Hey, but that's okay. Yes, sometimes you got to do that
yes,
in the beginning.
he told me, he's like, Katina, actually, it looked copied and pasted. And it was, right? But I'm so thankful for opportunities like this to gain more notoriety to the She Event.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thankful that you can come into the space and interview entrepreneurs and even widen your reach. You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying?
Yes.
With different entrepreneurs. I look forward to, your business growing and growing and growing to where you're like, look, I got to book you 6 months out. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying?
Yes.
Because your platform is gaining so much notoriety. I look forward to sponsors reaching out. and saying, hey, I want a commercial on your show
Yes.
because you listen, you got the audience going,
Absolutely. Yes, I want that.
So I
And I
definitely
so
look
appreciate
forward
the
to that
platform.
too. And I just think you're a beautiful spirit.
Thank you.
You did such a great job at
That was my first time doing that.
Oh, you're kidding me.
I was so serious when she asked me to do that. I was like, okay, I guess I'll just pretend like I'm on my show.
Me.
No, first time ever.
I mean, you were just so, you were show ready. Oh my God, girlfriend, you were show ready. You look amazing.
Thank you.
Just sitting there, with your legs crossed and ready to be a moderator for that amazing panel, by the way.
It was, yes.
Your questions were excellent, and there was another time where it was just organic.
Yes, and I feel like people need that. They need to have those things pulled out of them because not only is it good for the audience or the people that are listening, but it's beneficial for them. Because then it gets them to think. Sometimes we don't stop long enough to think about why we do this. When someone says, so what do you do? I do a lot. Like, to be able to formulate a 30 to 60-second pitch is difficult.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you have a lot of irons in the fire. So to be able to help people to do that by asking those questions, and I don't plan any questions. I go in full force, just nothing. Organic. So when I sit down and I start asking based on the response, that's just how it just flows.
Ain't that something?
And I'm like, wow, this must have been in me, and I just didn't know, and I just needed that.
And that's what I was talking about, tapping inside of us. Like I said, for the last probably 4 years or something like that, I really been tapping inside of myself and finding out my likes, my dislikes, my values. So it's almost like I'm being reintroduced to who I really am, if I've ever known who I really am.
No,
because
absolutely.
You go through life with people telling you how you should be.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And I've actually visited every aspect of my life. I mean, like, even with using flour. I'm like, my mom would like save flour forever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then one day I was in the store, I'm like, this stuff is like $2 a bag. Throw that shit away.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But and not trying to act like I'm too far removed from hard times at all. It's just, we got to learn how to leverage certain things. And if we can afford to do certain things, instead of practicing things that go stress us out, save yourself the heartache.
You know what I'm saying? I don't cut my grass. I'm going to pay somebody to cut my grass. I'm going to eventually have a housekeeper because I want to be able to do what I love to do.
There you go.
Not that I be bougie. I'm going.
And people employing
somebody. I'm employing somebody. They have a job. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I was having this conversation. Actually, I didn't plan for it to blow up like this at all, but I made a post on Facebook about me going to the Beyonce concert, and that this pastor on YouTube, she said that pretty much if you go to the concert, you're on your way to hell.
Oh, I think I did see that. I was like, wow, that's a bold statement.
Yeah, and so I even had this lady tell me, because I made a comment, I said I went and I really enjoyed it, and she said, this lady came on there. She was not the same lady that's doing the YouTube video, but another, I guess you would call her prophetess. And she said, you still have time to repent and stuff like that. And, my heart has never led me to repent for anything, because I don't understand what I did. But the meat of my post was that I had stopped and talked to, a few entrepreneurs and business owners who were there in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And of course, they have events there all the time. And, there's a flow of traffic to, make them money with their business. But it was something about this concert that just brought them a lot of money within 2 to 3 day period. And some of their stories were like tear jerking, for real, at the money they had made. I saw homeless people pulling dirty, what do you call it? The thing, coolers to sell water. People wanted water when they were walking back from that concert, trying to find their Uber or Lyft or whatever. And then I even read one girl said that someone was selling flip flops. I would have loved a pair of flip
No,
flops.
for real, absolutely.
After a concert, you know, I
Yes.
wore tennis shoes, but like after a concert, when you wear heels and you're
Yes.
walking through a stadium, you got my size flip flops.
Right.
Absolutely, I don't care how much they
Yeah.
cost right now.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I pay you $10
Right.
for a pair of dollar flip flops.
Right.
If my feet
Exactly.
gonna feel better,
Yeah.
20, whatever the case may be, but you know, I figured out that people pay for for what they want. For one, like you said, I'll pay to get my grass cut. No, I'm gonna go get a tank of gas and I'm gonna cut my. Well, that's you.
That'll take me 2 hours.
There
What
you
I
go.
could be doing, I could be working on my business. I could be helping somebody.
That's
Like
right.
that's how I look at it.
Right. And so somebody else may say, I'm not paying $10 to $20 for some flip flops. I can go to Old Navy and driving it. That's fine for you. But right now, in my current circumstance, with my feet hurting,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get these flip flops,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Because we throw that money away,
We
you know,
do.
with other stuff. But yeah. So I was just talking to them about how she like created a whole economic situation. You see what I'm saying? And even my Uber driver was talking about, you know, all the money that he made and how well he did, you know, during these couple of days or whatever. And so that's what my post was about. It was about creative thinking.
Yeah.
It was about, you know, boosting the economy. And it's so crazy to me how many people went onto that post and completely ignored how the economy was boosted, and they focusing in on people supporting Beyonce, right? But I guarantee you, they don't know what their doctor, nurse, lawyer, nutritionist, person is doing their pedicure, medic. You don't know what they doing when they get home. They could be into satanic worship, and you don't even know.
Exactly.
But I bet you ain't gonna pull your money back if the
Right.
person that owns the light company is praying to their God, whoever that is. You gonna pay that light bill, or your light's gonna get cut out.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So stop. You know, and you know, and I too had to realize that even when I'm having those kinds of conversations, that you know, just some people are not ready for them, which I was one of those people before that did not see the whole picture.
Yeah.
So you know how to grow into that. So I got to also give people some grace too. Yes. Like me and this one guy, he shared my post and he was like, I tried to tell y'all these people worshiping Beyonce. So I went on his post and I was like, but you missed what I was saying, bro. I'm talking about, you know, the businesses that are thriving because of this, you know, concert coming to their town, whatever. We talked back and forth and he ended up sending me a friend request. You know, so, you know, just giving people grace and then understanding that everybody may not be where you are, you know, as far as understanding. Yeah. Listen, I've had a conversation with two of my friends who felt like they was the smartest people in the room. And like I didn't know too much of nothing, but I didn't get here not knowing too much of nothing. Right. No. You are building an empire. Yeah, so it takes some level of intelligence. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Even though, you know, I may see a joke and you see a joke and I don't get it right then, it still takes some level of intelligence to be in this position. So,
yeah. So, just to wrap up, so what can people look forward to for the She event? What are some highlights that you like to share?
They can look to be interviewed by a great lady named Melissa Shaw. Yes. To gain more notoriety to their business. Yes. We will have local entertainment. We will have a fashion show with local designers. We will have, I believe it's around 120, 30 vendors. Nice. From everything from clothing to body care to handmade handbags, just a lot of different items like that. We also will have live demonstrations by local beauticians and things like that. We will have a decompression room because I'm really taking a deep dive into the mental health aspect of the She event, which we just added. In the mental health room, you can expect to do sip and paint. Simple painting. We're going to do a puzzle together, a community puzzle. I love that. We'll have coloring. We will have chair massages. We will have yoga
Mm.
and different activities like that in our decompression room because we just want you to woosah
Yes.
too while
Have you
you're at the
ever
Shiva.
experienced sound bowls?
I have, and
Woo!
I love it.
My God, like they are that's
Hmm.
the best thing ever. If a
Yes,
friend of
and you
mine,
know what? I might reach out to her too.
yeah, you should definitely include
Yeah,
that.
there was a girl who came here for the Bosses in White who does sound bowls.
Okay. Yeah, a
Hmm.
friend of mine, her name is Sky. She does it. And she has it twice a month.
I think that
Um,
may be her
is it
with
Sky,
the
Beyond the
locks.
Sky? Yes, my little Sky. Oh, I just adore her.
Can you connect us?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. She's
Okay.
actually. Do you know Londrell? He's a huge yoga master,
I don't.
meditation.
Is he
She's
a young guy
I think
or
he is young, but he's not here.
right?
He's from I forget where he's from, but she has orchestrated this whole event. She's
Hmm.
bringing him in September. And it's
Okay.
going to be at P30, and I'm helping her, like make sure everything. But yes, oh
Please, please connect us
yes,
because I want to
yes,
have her at the she
because
event.
she does it twice a month, either at Holiday Park or at Broad Ripple Park, and it's the
Okay.
best experience.
Oh,
Like
I
it's
love
part of
it.
my healing. It's part of what I do.
Yeah.
Nobody better not talk to me between those hours. And I tell her like it's the only time that my brain is shuts off. It's something about those sound
Yes,
bowls.
yes.
They're
I
beautiful.
love it. And she actually did a pitch contest at the Edna Martin Center,
Did
and I
she?
was a judge. So I was thoroughly impressed by
Yeah.
her.
She does 12 steps of recovery. So she takes recovery and addiction and intertwines it with yoga. Yeah, yeah, she's dope. Yeah, she's definitely is someone to connect with because she's still
Yes,
learning and she's at that baby stage that she can just blossom.
yes, yes. Thank you. I
Yes,
appreciate
absolutely.
that.
I'll let her know.
I will. I appreciate
So how
that.
can ones get obviously follow you? Where can they get tickets for the
Yes,
she event?
you can get tickets for the she event, which the tickets are free for guests.
Oh,
They are
nice.
free for
Okay,
guests. Yes, we want the community to come in
love it.
and celebrate with us. We call it the annual Ubuntu celebration,
I
which is an
love it.
African term. I am because we are,
Love that.
and we've been practicing that all 9 years. And also, again, the tickets are on Eventbrite. You can also go onto Facebook and follow the She Event Indie. You can also find out ticket information from my page, Katina Washington .581 on Facebook, right? And on our LinkedIn account, also our Instagram, and on our main website, which is She Experience. It's SHEXPERIENCE. Ooh, I'm getting
Look
better
at
at
it.
spelling. .org.
Love
Okay.
it, love it,
So
love it. And you
she
also do accelerator courses. You're in the process of doing
we
that. Just real
do.
briefly, can you mention like if those are wanting to start their business or like in that process, you
Mhm.
have tools to help them with that?
We absolutely do. We offer free accelerator courses. They're on Wednesdays on Zoom. Really awesome class.
Yeah, I've
Like,
heard they're
yeah,
dope.
I would love for you to just tap in one
Yes,
day and just
yeah,
listen.
yeah.
And even if we've had entrepreneurs that have been entrepreneurs 20 years that have went through our
Oh, I
class.
mean, things change and you need a new
Yeah.
vision. You just need a refresh, a
Yeah, and we
reset
learn from
sometimes.
each other too. We
Absolutely.
absolutely learn from each other. So our accelerator courses talk about everything from marketing to branding to legal structure, protecting your intellectual property.
So
Um,
just
yes.
so many people don't do that and they don't understand that
Oh
how important
yeah.
it is. They think when they get their LLC that they're protected. No,
Mm,
you're not. Like
no.
somebody in Ohio could use your same name.
Absolutely.
And really understanding that. So that's powerful that you include that. And I also
Yeah.
work with and you get a lot of young ones. There's been an influx of young entrepreneurs.
Oh yes.
And I feel like it's our job to educate them and help them to be able to make sure that they do it the right way because that's the generation, that's the legacy that we're
Absolutely.
helping to be left behind. So yeah, so I actually have, and you're probably familiar with them, Legal Shield. They actually have a whole small business division that
Mm-hmm.
helps with business owners, and so it's important to find resources. And a lot of times people they gatekeep information.
Oh, absolutely, they do.
And I'm like, why? What is the whole point
Mm-hmm.
of it? If I learned it, I'm gonna give it to you because
Absolutely.
me hold on to it doesn't do me any justice. But
Absolutely.
being able to share it with someone and help them to bring their learning curve down a couple
Absolutely.
years,
Oh,
it's huge.
absolutely. Yes, it
And in
is.
turn, they're going to do it. And so now we're shortening the time frame of how
Mhm.
people be able to launch their business.
Oh yeah, yeah. We we welcome you if you're in the what do they call it? Ideation
Oh yeah, like
stage. Yeah,
when they have
yeah.
ideas
When
that
you
they.
have an idea and you just want to start your business, so we welcome those in who just have an idea.
Love that.
And then that way, one of our courses within the course is this a business or hobby? So it will help you to determine if
Love
this is
that.
something you want to roll out into a real business or if
Hmm.
you just want to keep this as a hobby because being a hobbyist is fine.
Yes.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So we also have that course within that. And we welcome business owners who have been in business 20, 30 years because we all can learn from each other. This
Absolutely.
is a platform that we come together to share information. I
Hmm.
mean, and that's it. And then we also have on Wednesdays a mental health advisor or mental health coach as
Nice.
well. So we talk about mental health stuff. We talk about race. We talk about culture.
Love that.
We talk about how it will affect your business, race and culture being
Hmm.
black, you know, how hard it is for some black businesses to sell a product and people trust the product that they're putting on their body, and they'll
Hmm.
trust products from the dollar store more than they will black. So just tapping
Yeah.
into
And
conversations like
why
that,
is that, and how you can
yeah,
change that narrative?
and how you
Absolutely.
can change that narrative.
Hmm.
So, like we have a an entrepreneur that we work with that has a product that she actually sought out a black chemist, and these products are like class A,
Love that.
class A products. So just getting the community to realize that this is not something I just threw together in my kitchen.
Hmm.
Like this is a real product that
Hmm.
I strategically put
Yeah.
together and intentionally sought out a chemist to put these products together. So just, even
Hmm.
coming up with ways to educate our community on what
Absolutely.
they're receiving from us,
Hmm. Yeah.
and just coming together as entrepreneurs to enhance our products and just
Hmm.
put out something that's great and elite,
Hmm.
so that people trust us
Yeah,
more.
absolutely. And banding together does that.
Mm-hmm.
When they see me trusting you, and I'm using, which by the way, I love your perfume. I have it on
Yeah.
now.
Thank you.
Knowing
Thank
that
you.
other people trust it, talking
Mm-hmm.
about that, say, hey, she's
Mm-hmm.
got a dope product.
Yeah.
Just like my friend that has her hair care is Boomy Hair Care. Being able to say, hey, I use this product.
She was at our she event, I think,
She was
last year,
okay.
and she had like 3 tables too. It
Yeah,
was the
so
first time I was like, did they make a mistake or did she? Because and I just want to say this on camera. I do. I've had many times where I've gotten feedback from some people saying, "Oh, her vendor price is too high." Keep in mind, my vendor price started at $25, and then it went to 50, and then 75, and then 125, and then 150, and then 200. You
mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now it's 275 at the convention center, which is really affordable for the
Mm-hmm.
to be a vendor at the convention center.
Yeah.
And when Boomy brought 3 booths, I was like, did they do this on purpose? Was it a mistake or what? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then they came and they created a whole experience within the she experience. You know, they had it set up where one place you make your make it they were taking like orders, I guess, at the
Wow.
first booth, and then the second person would fill the order, and then when you get down at the end you ring out and you go, and I'm like, this is brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Like they created a whole experience. Everyone within their team looked nice and
Mm-hmm.
presentable and was a great representation of their
Yeah.
brand, which in turn makes the she event look good, right?
Absolutely.
Because it makes us more reputable,
Mm-hmm.
as far as having an event that's like an experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then not only that, her buying 3 booths from me in turn, puts a stamp on me doing what I'm supposed to do and the
Absolutely.
right way. And not only that, it also puts a stamp on the value of my brand,
Yes. Yeah.
for her to invest like
Yeah.
that,
Absolutely.
because she paid more than probably I
Yeah.
can't remember anyone else,
Yeah.
doing that many booths at one time.
And
So
sometimes you have to invest that much into your business and
yes, you
yourself.
do.
People look at it as an expense, but it's that mindset. It's an investment.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
look where she's at now. She's in Walmart.
Yeah.
Like that to me, that I can't wait to have her on my show next month. Like her
Yes,
story is
and
so
please,
dope.
yes, and please tell her thank you,
Yes,
thank
yeah.
you. She's and that's the thing, you know, when you are intentional about how you move, right? Are intentional about how you move. Look, she bought three, but there's some people that don't want to invest $50, $100, and I try to tell entrepreneurs that I work with, and I tell them, you got to be willing to invest in your business. My vendor fee is $275 this year, but I paid $275 back in 2017 or 18 when I did curly treats in London.
Wow.
And guess what? I also had to buy a ticket, and those foreign airlines ain't cheap.
No.
Norwegian wasn't playing, okay?
Wow.
You're not gonna get some little biscotta that you dip in your coffee, baby. You get steak, okay? Because it's a long ride, okay, to Europe. So, I invested in my hotel room, my transportation. I had to take a train to Chicago, at the time.
Yeah.
And then after I took the train, I took a plane from Chicago to Europe, which was 8 hours.
Whew.
And then you got to get on a bus that takes you to, and so you're just like, oh, am I ever going to finish traveling, and get to my place? Yeah. And so we finally got to a hotel and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, you got a little small, I don't even know if it was 6 foot. It may have even been 4 foot table for $275. Plus, you got to pay for your travel and all of that. But I invested in me because I believed in me. We are wanting other people, not we, but some entrepreneurs want other people to invest more in them than they're willing to invest in themselves. But it is true when they say scared money don't make money.
No,
it does not. You have
to go all in.
You have to go all in.
Yeah.
I've wasted money. I've made bad investments. I've been ripped off.
Yeah.
All of that. But guess what? I
wouldn't
trade none of it. Okay. Mm-hmm. I can tell you stories where, honey, I've been ripped out of $250. But guess what? I've also received a grant for $250,000. Okay.
That part.
I've been ripped out of $400, but I've received a grant for $40,000.
I love
it. You know what I'm saying? So, and we don't at all have the funding that we need, and we don't have partners. Well, we have like maybe 2 or 3 that we can depend on every year, but that's what I'm waiting on. I'm waiting on those partnerships where we can say, okay, we got 5 good partners that we know are going to be there for us every year as long as we do what we're supposed to do.
Absolutely.
But for them partners to be attracted to you, they want to see that you're willing to invest and put in the hard work and get your feet dirty. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I came with mismatched socks, because I had to show up. I had that.
You had to show up.
I had to, because if I want, like you said, if I want people to invest in me, people watch you.
Yes, they do.
And they're like, okay, how far is she gonna go with this? Is this just a hobby? Is just something to do? Like, is she serious? And then when they say, oh, wait a minute, she's really doing this. Like, it's been a year, and now she's YouTube. Now, just like you, now you went from being at a clubhouse to now you're at the convention center. Like, people watch that.
Yeah, and commitment is attractive.
Yes, and you're gonna get all those sponsors. Absolutely.
Commitment is attractive. Yes, it's cool. You got a nice, cute shaped body, and your hair look good, and your makeup nice. But let me tell you something. Commitment is attractive to people. They love to see people, because a lot of people who are in that position to give you funding, they know how it is to work hard. Yeah. And so when they identify with that, seeing that in you, it's attractive to them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, this has been great. We could go on and on and on. Right. But I definitely have to do another part. Want to have you back on. Thank you so much. This has been
Yes,
great.
and I'll be by your booth at the She event.
Yes.
Look, we'll have booth numbers out really soon.
Okay, okay,
So
perfect.
yeah,
I'm excited. So
yeah,
yeah,
and so
so
thank you so much. I truly appreciate this
absolutely.
opportunity.
Yes,
This
no,
is
this
this
has
is
been great. Thank you. So this has been Melissa Shaw with Our Generation, where we educate, empower, and inspire. And hopefully during this time you was able to be educated on something, able to be inspired and empowered so that you can go out and empower other ones. So this is Melissa Shaw, and we are out.
Bye.
Watch, I never know how to shut this off right. This is always at the